Leaders, we need wisdom. I mean, is that obvious? I'm guessing you have some decisions in front of you, some things you're facing, and you need wisdom. And we are so blessed as Christ followers that God has given us His Word. And actually within His Word, He's given us the book of Proverbs, which is filled with wisdom. Those 31 chapters are so rich, and when you understand the authorship, that they're written by a man who was asked, what do you want? And who said, I want wisdom above all else. Solomon, in praying and asking for wisdom, was then given not just wisdom, but the stewardship of more resources than probably any person who has ever lived. I actually was looking it up recently to see, how much did he have in economics, compared to today? Like economically, what would it look like today? And just the gold alone that Solomon was receiving every year would be worth, in our current currency here in America, $1.5 billion per year. That's just the gold. He had silver, he had other furnishings, he had animals and livestock and people involved. I mean, this is a man whose wealth exceeded anything we can even imagine. And he wrote this gold place, this gold mine called Proverbs. And so I'm going to share a few with you that I think can help us as leaders. I hope it inspires you. I mean, there's typically 30 or 31 days in a month. Maybe you read a proverb a day as a leader for a new habit, a new commitment to say, I need wisdom in my leadership. Solomon had it, and he shares with us in chapter 3, verses 5 and 6, these verses. He says this, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your straight your paths. And so the wisdom of that is to be able to put God first in all things. To be able to say, God, I'm going to trust You, and I'm going to lean not in what I know and my wisdom and man's wisdom, but I'm going to take that and then come for Your wisdom as well. When you begin to acknowledge God in all of life and all of leadership, He promises to straighten our path. Maybe you have a situation right now, a conflict that's unfolding or an opportunity in front of you. May we all recognize that not every opportunity is a God opportunity. Sometimes I believe that we can knock on a door, and just because it opens, we walk through. Well, what if that door is being opened by somebody other than God? And what if that opportunity is actually a distraction or something that might pull you away from the path that God has? This is why it's so important as a leader to trust God, to lean on Him, and to acknowledge Him with every opportunity so He can show you the path that He's created you for. In Proverbs 12, verse 1, the writer says, whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but he who hates reproof is stupid. Proverbs 15:22 says, without counsel, plans fail, but with many advisors, they succeed. The principle here and the wisdom that we see for leaders is that we need to be a people that are lifelong learners, that are humble, that are teachable, that realize that there are things that we have yet to learn in an ever-changing world, that we can learn from good mentors and coaches, and even getting the right people to the table. People that can collaborate and discern with us, people that can help us make better decisions. I mean, we all have blind spots. And when we sit with others, they can help us see those so we can see clearly and make better decisions as leaders. Again, gold here in the book of Proverbs. In Proverbs 22, verse 1, the writer says, a good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, and favor is better than silver or gold. When I think of this one, I'm reminded that integrity needs to be first and foremost in the leader's life. That it's God's name and our name, that integrity of it, that has to be over everything we think we can earn. That a good name and that favor will carry weight that nothing else will. Back in 2010, our ministry at the time was given an incredible donation. We were donated a 10.5-acre plot of land with a Sears building on it, a 130,000 square foot facility, free and clear, totally ours. Within 30 days, we were levied a lawsuit. We were levied as well an injunction from our local township. And on top of that, a $130,000 tax bill from the local treasurer. All of those were designed to scare us away from what God had given us. And in that, we had to lean in and make some decisions. Throughout the process, the top religious land use lawyer in America would call me every 30 days saying, I'm ready to go to bat for you. I'm ready to fight for you. The top RLUIPA person, religious land use, in the president's administration at that time would call me every 90 days asking for an update because they were ready to take on our case. But every step of the way, God kept telling us, no, trust me, I will fight for you. On the backside of 2.5 years of waiting on God, of never pushing the red button to fight the way worldly wisdom said we should, we saw God do a miracle. The property was actually sold. As it was sold, it multiplied into 3 properties that have blessed that community and earned such a great name with God that local corporations have partnered. The favor God has given the ministry there is absolutely only of Him. And so we prioritize His name and our integrity over what we could do or earn on our own. And the wildest thing about the whole thing is that treasurer who we paid the $130,000 dollar tax bill. We paid it out of the settlement. We did not pay it out of our tithe and offering, but we felt we needed to do the right thing and pay it. Do you know that he circled back and became a friend in the community that often offered us properties for free that were being foreclosed on, who so wanted to make things right because he had saw the wrong and how we had handled it. Over time, you have no idea, leaders, what God can do when we prioritize the right things. The last one, Proverbs 29:4, says, but just by justice a king builds up the land, but he who exacts gifts tears it down. So our role as leaders, Solomon is saying, is to operate in God's wisdom, which says our deal with justice, to do the right thing in the right way, is to build up the land and to be somebody who's not exacting gifts, to do the right thing as far as we can to build up those that we're leading and build up our communities. And I love the way John Wesley, a revivalist who was used in the 18th century in amazing ways, says this. He says, do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as you ever can. When we begin to take that kind of advice and wisdom and apply it to our leadership, you will see God's favor and movement in your life in a way that earthly wisdom can never achieve. May you take the challenge. Get in to God's wisdom.